Okay, wait. So this is a K-pop artist who I think you are gonna know.
Maybe.
I don't know a lot of K-pop.
He debuted from a K-pop group called EXO, and then.
Do you know EXO?
I do know EXO, but it's like grade 8 for me.
Oh, okay, you're too young. But yes, he debuted from a K-pop group, and then he went solo in China, and he went really big. So he doesn't really define his music as K-pop anymore. He calls it mpop,
which is Mandarin pop.
Yeah. But it's very similar to K-pop, with more like traditional Chinese elements in it.
Okay.
What do you mean, language-wise or production-wise?
I think production, language, and just the instrument he chooses will be like that. But we will start with this video first.
Let's go.
So that,
So wait, are we about to do like a bunch of videos, or this is just one video I'm gonna watch?
We're gonna watch 3.
Right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't recognize him?
No.
Because you're
No, this is
a little
David Tao.
baby child.
This is David Tao.
It's so him! It's so handsome!
That's David Tao when he was so young.
Oh my god!
But he was already the legend in Chinese music world.
He was a legend at this age?
Yes.
He was hot!
Yeah. Remember the Blue album that he gave us?
Yeah.
Like that was his first album. That kind of like took
to be
everyone
honest,
by
like,
surprise.
he doesn't actually look that different than this. It just isn't where my head was at. But he's like a handsome fella. Like Ida for sure.
Yeah. Because the guy we're about to review, his idol was
David
Tao.
Tao.
And then this is the first time they met each other.
Okay.
Like 25 years ago or something. Like 24 or 25 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
最难模仿的一点是哪里？很难吗？
He is so little.
Yes, that kid.
就是很美美。
Wait a minute. That's the kid. That's the
kid. That's the artist.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
每唱一句话的时候都有一个耶
Oh my god.
呀耶呀，对，这
He
个是
sang.
呀。
So the MC asked him, what's the hardest thing to copy from David Tao? And then he's like, oh yeah, every song he sings has like yeah and yes and yes.
Yeah. Yes.
丫丫记不住是不是？所以
It's hard to remember.
不过我知道你今天来是带了很大的勇气过来的，所以而且跟陶喆哥哥也见面了，所以你今天无论如何也要唱一段，是不是？
So he's gonna sing
唱哪
a
一首？
song.
唱那个找自己。挤在公车像个傻逼，上班下班没解释问题，这么多的人到哪里去？每个面显得无奈，爸爸妈妈彼此没有爱，难道这就是生命的真理？
This kid's got a lot of attitude.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what? I didn't really realize through a lot of the earlier years of my career, I really didn't realize how much vocal attitude was important. I was so focused on vocal skill. Was it correct? Was it in tune? Was it, was that riff right? Did I land that? Did I do the grace note? It only is really in like the last third of my career that I'm like, oh, it's the juice, it's the meat, it's the potatoes, it's the attitude, it's how your attitude interacts with what your voice does. A very pure performance, really, that's when you end up sounding more theatrical or classical. Pop is when you bring like your I don't know, I don't say your personality, but you know what I mean? Like, you're a pretty clean singer too. Both you and I have to work, I would say, not to put this on you, but we have to work to remember that it's not just about clean vocals. Do you struggle with that?
100%. Like, I even find it hard to make content sometimes because I'm like, okay, that sounds bad. I like the way I sounded here because I wasn't thinking too much about all the technicality. Whereas this one, I was thinking too much about the technicality, and now I feel like I lost a lot of that.
Totally.
Interaction.
And this kid is not like, oh, like, did I hit that note?
No.
This kid is like, ba da 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 ba da ba da da.
Yeah.
And people are like, whoa, like he's such a performer, and he's got the voice to back it up. It is in tune. It is in fine. It's well within reason, but also it's interesting and it's exciting. And he's like, we're drawn in because of his personality and because of his showmanship.
Yep.
So, good.
You remember this song?
I know this song.
Remember we talked about la 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 la.
我的心
Okay, next one. He's grown up. Do you remember him? Do you know him?
I do. He looks very different.
His name is Lay. Lay. Same song, like 24 years after.
Oh, I hope David Tao like tumbles out of the curtain.
Sounds live.
You don't know David Tao, do you?
No.
No.
I feel like you guys brought up his name before.
Probably, but I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear Jay. How? Oh my God, is he somersaulting out of the background? Is that David Tao coming out?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna say, when I hear singers sing, whether I'm searching for their influences or not, it's just where my brain goes. And he has done something with his placement, with his, I'm gonna say, tongue and shape to emulate David Tao. So it's not going to be just his la-la-las and his riffs and runs. He has actually taken on some tonal shape.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of, David Tao uses a little bit of a purposeful buzz in the face. Not it's not a conscious decision he's made. It's just like we don't make those decisions when we sing. We just have our voice has a personality of its own as we've grown it.
Yes.
But you can tell, like, had you not told me anything about David Tao, I feel like I might have been like, does he like David Tao? Really interestingly borrowed or not borrowed, but he's riffing on that placement.
Yeah. Here.
Do you hear it? Do you hear what I'm even talking about?
Yeah.
He's hugely riffing on it.
Yeah.
Jay's a huge fan of it. This is his idol. Yeah. Could you turn it up just a tad? Sorry.
Such a nice guy. It's a poor mix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've got the BGVs like.
天在下雨，哗啦啦啦啦，云在哭泣，哗啦啦啦啦，滴入我的心。Oh yeah，不用说，我只会胡思乱想，不用跟我说，我只会妄想，哗啦啦啦啦，让我去。
This mix is treacherous.
Yeah.
What's going on?
我只希望能够再一次回到那个美丽时光里，找自己。Come on!
Oh man, he's so riffing on him.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
yeah.
And you can also hear I can still hear that little kid in him too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, his little E vowel. Engineer, you are killing me.
Yep.
Killing me with this mix.
Very.
This is one of those frustrating moments where when I obviously don't speak Mandarin, I mean, we listen to all sorts of languages, but it's this frustrating feeling where I want to sing along, but I'm like, it's very unsatisfying because I want to participate.
24 years ago.
Wait,
They-
that's him. That's him.
An AI version
Oh
of him
my god.
from 24 years ago.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oh, what the heck?
Okay, you know what?
That's
I
awful. That's awful.
I don't like this.
That's awful.
It's like a freaking ghost.
They've changed the key of him and it's
I know.
weird. They've edited
It
him.
looks weird. Sounds like a chipmunk.
Okay.
This is creepy.
Yeah.
But this is
just
not
a
the key
little-
he sang in, is it?
No.
难道这就是
Oh yeah, lower.
That's why it
Okay,
sounds so
that's
bad.
why.
They've jacked it like 3 or 4 steps, maybe more. That was.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Man.
Don't like
Yeah.
it. Don't like that.
Why did you do?
They should have just had him come out and dance or something. I don't know. That's weird. That's weird. You can, just so you guys at home know that we can change the pitch of things by tiny teeny increments called cents, probably even less than cents,
Yeah.
or semitones, like half steps, like up the piano, like we can move this note to this note to this note to this note. But the thing is, with the software that we have today, which is extremely advanced and wildly, it's amazing, it's accurate, you can do a lot of different things, but where we're still at is when you change the key of a singer or a live audio of any sort, if you record the sound of a clap, or if you record a saxophone with a microphone or whatever, you can move it a little down or a little up, and you can kind of keep the integrity of that sound so it still sounds real, so it still sounds normal to the ear. But when you start moving it a lot, whether it's up or down, you lose the integrity and it no longer sounds like a real sound.
They lacked samples. If they had enough samples of the kid voice, they can definitely do a good job with it. But now this is janky.
So now we're mixing in 2 topics. So I'm first just talking about editing pitch, but now we've got AI in the mix, right?
yeah.
So what Jay is saying is, had they had enough of his samples of this little kid's voice, which they don't, right? Because
Yeah.
it's 24 years ago, they only have what they have.
Yeah.
If you feed the AI enough information,
Yeah.
it could have, filled in some of the blanks.
Very realistic, actually.
Absolutely, but we're seeing, to be honest, Jay, I'm not sure how much we're seeing of each of those things, because mostly I'm just hearing melodyne. I'm hearing pitch correct.
Me too.
So they've really just pitch corrected him up and then used AI to kind of move the rhythm and stuff into place. And the more you manipulate an audio file, which is what they had from this kid, and not even a blank one, they probably had to subtract out instrument sounds and audience sounds. So they have this already kind of crap old thing. Then they've had to change the key of it, they've had to change the rhythm of it, they've had to completely manipulate it to make this cool moment, right? Everybody's like, oh my god, it's him, it's a little get crazy. But as soon as he started singing, I was like, oh dear. So they just don't have enough information to make this sound at all the way he did. It's unfortunate that, it's not unfortunate, but the kid sang it in a different key at a different tempo. So this had to be reworked so much to end up here. So he kind of just sounds like chipmunky, whatever. Cute, but I'm not sure the audio is working out.
Don't match either.
Well, because it can't, right? Because the kid sang at a different speed. So they've had to manipulate the video and the audio to a degree that we kind of lost the heart. But cool, but
It's awkward.
Come on, take it away.
And the kid is louder than the 2 of them.
Defining is really weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird for me. But I get it. Like people really love to see stuff like this come to life. I don't know if I've ever told this story on our show, so stop me if I have. But I had a student this was many years ago. I had a student, and he was ill with cancer. And he had a 5-year-old daughter at the time, and he wanted to take singing lessons so he could sing to his daughter. And ultimately, he wanted to be able to record some songs for his daughter so that... Have I ever told this story?
No.
So that in his absence, his daughter would have these recordings of her dad singing to her. And he was a really, really lovely, beautiful man. And he passed away before he was able to go record the songs. But what we did have was recordings of our sessions. So I played at his celebration of life, and I actually sang a duet with him based on a recording from my cell phone, or from my computer rather, from our class, of him singing a John Legend song, and we played it and I harmonized on it. And that is it was beautiful, and his wife and his kid and his family was able to hear him in real life doing what he did. So I'm not trying to take this to such a sad place from something fun like this, but what I'm saying is I understand why they did this.
It's a celebration.
I understand why they did this because looking back at the past, especially for someone who has gone from that being a small child to standing here again with his idol, singing this song, having his own career. He's a he's a good vocalist now. So I know why they did this. And I know why people probably really enjoyed it. So the reason I'm saying this is I don't want people to think that I'm heartless because I'm kind of complaining about this, the audio quality, et cetera, et cetera. I understand. I understand people's attachment, and I understand how cool this probably was for him. What's his name? Sorry? Lay. How cool it probably was for him, and also probably how uncomfortable as well, like all sorts of crazy around it. But I'm just saying, even though I'm complaining about the audio things, because it's my job to notice these things, I can't help it, and B, that's what I'm here to do. I also understand. That's all I'm saying, is I also understand, and having that experience myself, I'll never forget how stirring it is to hear voices from the past.
Yeah.
He does the same move over again. I've asked you this before. I don't think you know the answer. They can't see anything, can they?
Not the live audience, but they will be able to see it on a screen.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, and the two artists...
This is probably live stream. Yeah,
and so the two artists are just basically looking at an X on the floor, probably.
Yeah.
Where it's like, don't walk on this X.
Yeah.
Don't walk on your way. Right? So that's what the artists are seeing. They're just watching like a blank piece of floor, like,
Yes. They're interacting with the air.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, this is also a New Year.
New Year's.
Very, very recent.
This was recent.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think so. Yeah.
Like this year's New Year's or last?
I'll have to check, but yeah, I think it's pretty recent.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, let me show you what his mpop sounds like.
Mpop, okay.
Nowadays.
Mando-pop.
Stage.
Which you're telling me is riffing on K-pop, in that I'm assuming it's like upbeat and fun and like rap.
He learned a lot from K-pop.
Okay.
That's how he
took
debuted.
influence.
Took influence from K-pop, and then mixed his own influence in there with Chinese traditional stuff. So.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're a K-pop fan. Actually, did you not get engaged in Korea?
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
she's a fan. She's a big fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what we think.
But EXO was too early for you.
Well, the thing I remember, we did choreography in junior high, and we had to come to class with something that we learned. I remember we had to do like EXO, and we had to do all this.
Is that a thing?
EXO? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the group name. EXO.
Yeah.
But did they do a thing?
They did. I forgot what song we danced to, but I tried
Okay,
to
so
take
it's
that
like
out
on
my
the edge of
memory.
your junior high
It's-
memory.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, well, let's get laid.
All right, let's get laid. He's a great dancer and singer, songwriter.
Would you guys mind to turn it up like a tiny bit?
Sure. You can hear the throat singing in the background.
People always win with my music.
But is that him?
I think he's recording. Oh, the throat singing?
No,
I'm not sure.
sorry. The rappy singy thing.
I think
It's him
that's
in the
him.
background.
That
Okay.
should be him.
Catch on top the宇宙 I got it started, you know.
I think he's focused on dancing, so it's all like BGB.
一直想到最后 Human masterpieces go from east to the west. Doesn't matter language, there's no limit. I'm the best.
It's all English, eh?
Go from east to the west. Doesn't matter language, there's no limit.
Is that his bare chest?
Yeah. Hey, this is very interesting. This is very interesting. Obviously, those are not tattoos. Obviously not, because it's not allowed. But they've drawn things
Yes.
on his body.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. This production hits really hard. I would like to listen to this in my car. You know what this makes me think? This makes me or reminds me that when we see artists and singers on stage, or we see their brand, we listen to their records, we look at their image, this is such a great reminder that behind whatever it is that has been marketed to us, the audience, is often skimming the surface of that artist's desires, abilities, preferences. You know, he obviously was more focused on singing on the other clip that we watched. So it's easy for fans to be like, he's a singer. And I'm sure this transition, I'm sure everybody has followed him along and it's all good. But what I just mean is it's interesting that we get pigeonholed as artists, and that's also part of how marketing works. You can't always show all the things to all the people all the time. But it's neat to see that he's into this hard-hitting production, that he was inspired to bring the throat singing in because that's part of his heart, part of his culture, part of something that's important to him. But we also now know that dancing and like, what am I trying to say? Like kind of pop culture and like this darkness, right? We've gone from like la 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 to like there's like some sort of monster in the back and he's like, you know,
From a tux to shirt.
yeah. So I think that this is such a beautiful reminder that whatever you see in your art, that is not the limit of that artist.
Oh yeah.
And that's really beautiful. And art, you know, singers like Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga in my world are examples. Taylor Swift came out as a country singer and has like tootled her way all the way to like pop princess. Yeah. You know, Lady Gaga came out as like this dance club, meat suit, weird whatever. And then we saw her in movies that are extremely heartfelt where she's a singer-songwriter singing at the piano, talking, you know, singing about her life, about her diary basically. And it's just such a healthy reminder what lives in an artist's veins. Yeah. You don't get to see it all the time. Good for him for doing all the things and finding arteries to actually bring them all to stage. Yeah. And this is strong.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Nobody never can stop. 骨子里扎根着血性，性命力挽快乐逆天改命。Human masterpieces, the world is to the best. Doesn't matter language, there's no limit. I'm the best. Human master.
Doesn't matter language, limit, I'm the best, yeah. So he's actually, I think, also commenting just on, you know, on language, on his journey, on getting his message across. I mean, I'm extrapolating. He could be riffing from a different place.
You're right. Yeah.
But I also think like his roots of Mandarin language and culture, his Chinese culture. Also, he loves K-pop. Also, K-pop has English in it, and then also English in general he's worked in. So I think he's just like, I'm going to do it, and it's going to be great no matter what. Like, I'm going to deliver this to all the people in whatever language I want to, basically, and that people can appreciate it in whatever language I deliver it in. Showing China to the world?
Taking China to the world.
Yeah, see, so that's very interesting.
A lot of pride.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That instrument, remember? That very penetrating instrument, Sona. Like obnoxious, remember?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the king of instruments, they call it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think he is making a lot of statements, and he's really proving a point to himself and others that like his culture can fit into what I think the hole that he sees K-pop filling, which is this like heavy hitting, kind of dark. Well, not all K-pop is dark, but like heavy hitting and in this dark, you know, sexy,
dance
like
beat.
He can bring his stuff in and still have his culture and still have the heavy hitting nature of what he sees K-pop or Western pop as.
Yes.
So I think he actually is making a pretty bold statement.
Spot on.
I think, yeah.
Did he say mixed Mandarin pop?
He said something Mando-pop.
Mandarin pop.
Yeah.
Mando-pop. Something like that.
Yeah, I can...
He came up with the term mpop.
What he's doing is what not a lot of artists get the chance to do, which is mix, like bring together all the things they love and barf it out into their own art. And, you know, not have people be like, you can't do that, and that's me. Like, he just was like, yes, I can, yes, I will. It feels like this, it sounds like this, I dance like this, I rap like this, I use this language, I'm gonna have throat singing. It's, you know, whether I feature it prominently or not, it's gonna sit in the back. In this case, that instrument that you pointed out, as well as the throat singing, he's used them, and they're prominent enough that we both heard them and recognized them, but he also used them in a way that, let's say a Western artist or a K-pop artist, producer, would use a synth. So he's keeping the texture of that cultural sound, of that cultural instrument. He's not, you know, washing it with anything. We can still recognize it as the throat singing and the instrument, but he is also bringing it into the world enough that any ear can palate it, even if they don't know what they're hearing or why they're hearing it. So I think that this is actually a feat that he's accomplished, and something that I'm interested in and I really like to see. I think that it's great. We all have sounds that we are attached to, or pieces of our culture that we're attached to. But I think that at some point, when we are willing to like play and merge, all of a sudden your audience just explodes to a whole bunch more people.
In this aspect, I find them similar with him and Sita. There's a common ground there. Obviously different vocalists, but
absolutely. And I think it's really neat, and I think it's really important, and I think it's really brave. And I know that brave is kind of an overused mansy-pansy. Oh, it's so brave, but I think it is brave to step out when you're building your brand and when you already have fans that like X, Y, and Z that you do. To give them something that is so true to you, that is important to you, but that is also explosive and calls new people in. So I say bravo.
It's only gonna be about a matter of time before you get loose and start to lose your mind. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting. So just dance for me, leave your situation situations at the door. So grab someone, get your ass on the dance floor.